Hello? Can you hear us now? I'm going to go ahead and start thanking folks. You watch the chat there. K&R Destinations, Linda Barker, RV Dog, Older and Wiser.
They're hearing us.
Hear you. Steve Turtle. Hi, Steve. Carl. J.W. Carter. Thank you so much for taking care of those signs today, son. I appreciate that. Happy Place Camping, Justin and Christine's RV Life. Weekend RVing, Box Van D. Lugden. Love your videos, D, so much. Rhonda, K&R Destinations, Older and Wiser. William at Camper Life. Roaming with the Rosie. I was explaining earlier that we were doing the show without the headsets, and Miss Barbara was asking me why we were doing the show without the headsets, and that's because I worked on one of them, and let's just say it ain't working. Anyway, we've had a very good day. We had a real busy week and a very good day. Want to thank all the live streams that preceded us. That, of course, Nomadic Hippie, Rick over there, great live stream. Good show, Bob. Bob at Blue Wave Odyssey. Great weekend last weekend. If Bob is here, or if you came over from Bob under a Blue Wave raid, how many did Bob have tonight? Did he break 100? I know he wanted to break 100. I'm not sure whether he did or not.
I don't think he did.
Miss Barbara, tell us about that hairdo. Everybody's wondering, is that some lingering remnant of the Blue Wave raid or the Blue Tube crew from last week when me and her went blue? It's not. Miss Barbara is a very, she's a wild spirit. She is, and I love her for that. And tell us about that hairdo.
Well, a few years ago, I started going to an actual hairdresser and being faithful and loyal and going to the same person. Over the years, I got to trust her. And I just wanted to do something different. So the first time I did it, I went pink, not quite like this.
Older and Wiser says, love the hair color, Miss Barbara.
Thank you. And I've done blue, I've done purple. Purple's pretty much my favorite, but I saw she had a picture of a girl with very long hair.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and I told her, she put it on the Facebook last Saturday. And
Scoot is right under us.
That's our rat terrier. So anyway, I told her on Saturday that when she posted on Facebook that I wanted it, and so she made an appointment for me, and I had my hair did. Purple.
She got her hair did.
Got my hair did.
Does it match your nails?
Almost.
Almost. Her nails are purple. Purple. I just made up a new color, purple.
Purple.
Like we're playing hogwash, but purple.
But anyway, it's just something different. Help keep you young. So I just have fun with it. It grows out. And if I don't like it, I just go back to the hairdresser and say, I don't like it. Fix it.
You should see it in the sunlight. When the sunlight hits it, there's I don't know, it's dark and light and blonde and pink and purple, and I love it. I never know what she's gonna bring home, and I love her for that. And part of what we're gonna do tonight is we are going to ask each other, as the thumbnail said, tell all. We're going to ask each other 5 questions about our RV experience over the past. We're getting close to 2 years now, aren't we? Owning
it and traveling.
And traveling.
But
we've not done any extensive travel. Most of our travel has been short trips. And we love the short trips, and we're going to ask those questions of each other and get the honest answers. And we're going to ask you to ask us whatever questions you'd like, and we will do our level best, given reason, to answer them extremely honestly for you. So we want to once again thank all of you for being here. And we had a great time last weekend with Blue Wave Odyssey. And congratulations again, Bob. We thank all of you for being here tonight. And it was a busy week for me and you. We both had a very busy week. And Friday was just a whirlwind of activity. And all week we were trying. I'm sorry, what's that? What is that behind us? Well, we had a little mishap with, no, you know better than that. That's not Matilda. We were coming back from Destin, Florida this afternoon, and we stopped at a place in Bonifay, Florida, if you're familiar with North Florida, the Panhandle. We stopped in Bonifay at a great little restaurant we love, a Vietnamese noodle restaurant called Pho Noodle and Caboodle. Pho Noodle and Caboodle. And it's just extremely good food. We love it. Miss Barbara always gets the rice with the pineapple.
Yep. Pineapple and ham and shrimp and chicken and vegetables, of course.
And I get the noodles, usually the seafood noodles with the fish balls. It's got fish balls in it. I ain't lying to you. I got a picture of the menu. It says fish balls. And they're good. They taste like bait, but they're good. I love that restaurant. But anyway, this was sitting in a wrecker containment area, which was way back behind the restaurant there off of I-10 in the Panhandle of Florida. And it's a mess. It looks like they clipped the front passenger corner. I don't know, met a semi or met a building or a pole or something, but that wasn't a happy day for those folks. That's tough. Yeah, it's Hawaiian fried rice basically, with pineapple in it. And let's see here, Crazy Shepherd, Lucky Dog Productions, Bob, how you doing? I love fish balls. Steve Turtle says I love fish balls. I do too. Don't ask me what they are, because I've done a lot of fishing, but I've never actually seen them on a fish. So, weekend RVing, Happy Place Camping, Avenger RV Adventure, JC Journey, Happy Place Diaries. Jerry, how in the heck are you? And Teresa and Levi, how are y'all doing? Van Life with Gina Payne. That's a new name.
Yeah.
That's a new name. Miss Barbara, what did we go do today?
Well, we've had a rough week, and all week long we have been trying to get down to Destin. So finally we just decided we needed to go. We drove down to Destin. It was only about a 2.5 hour drive for us. And we met up with some people we know down there, and we ate.
We did. We intended to go somewhere else and do something else, but we just couldn't see forking out the entry fee for what didn't appear to be anything extraordinary. But anyway, I wanted to I'm not downsizing. North Alabama. The gentleman who goes on the mission trips, and what is his name? My goodness, I am at a loss right now. In fact, I just saw a comment from him, and let me back up. Y'all bear with me as I back up to see these comments here. Anyway, roll tide. Roll tide. That's basically all I wanted to say. So all you Alabama fans out there, or LSU, or Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, roll tide.
War Eagle.
Whatever. Anyway, who did we meet down in Destin today?
We met Shelly and Michael and Talon.
We met Talon. Michael came out of the RV, and we said he came out with Talon. And we said, "Hello, Talon, how are you?" And Michael goes, "Oh, gee, not hello, Michael, how you doing? It's hello, Talon, how are you?" And But we had a great time. Michael and Shelly were staying down at the Mid-Bay Shores RV Park. They'd been down there about 4 days. They headed out this afternoon after we left to go to Biloxi. Yeah. And they're going to be whirlwinding all around the panhandle of Florida, in and out of Mississippi, back and forth and up into Alabama. They've got a crazy schedule coming up. Diana Brianne Fairchild, thumbs up. Thank you so much. Because if you do not click the thumbs up button, what's going to happen?
A cute little puppy will go to bed tonight without a treat.
Don't be that person.
Don't be that person.
I just thought about turning the fan off. We just turned the fan off. Go Bears, go Buckeyes. What?
Well, you started it.
What? Lily Gypsy Child, good evening, my dear. How are you? Our epic RV adventure. We had a great time this afternoon. As a matter of fact, Miss Barbara, if you'll go ahead and thank some folks, I'm going to change our background here. I have a great...
Well, hey, Lisa. I see that you just finished the s'mores with the twins and are streaming us by the campfire. It's a good place for us to be, is by the campfire. We got Boxman D. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Happy Place Diaries. We're glad to have you here. Mel Nettie Living Free Life. Well, I do that every
Zip
time.
codeless.
Zip codeless. It's because
Mel and Nettie.
Mel and Nettie Living Free, zip code less. Oh, well.
Yeah.
We love you anyway.
Yeah, we certainly do.
We got K&R Destinations. I don't know them. But we're glad to have you here.
It says only 32 hit the thumbs up. I'm showing 57 in the room, so if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do it. We'd appreciate that. Miss Barbara, lean that way, and I'll lean this way.
Oh,
and
yes.
You see what we have right here on the screen.
Yeah.
That's where we were this afternoon. That, of course, is not Matilda. That is a nameless RV.
Nameless?
It's a Tiffin
Allegro
Open Road, a Tiffin Allegro Open Road. That belongs to, as you can see by the big decal there on the slide, that belongs to our epic RV adventure. And One Strange Adventure, what a great job you did helping them with that logo. I'm not pointing at it. Let me point at it. There it is. Look at that. That logo right there. It's incredible. And we were down there today, and Michael and Shelly, they were wearing their swag. Swag! Swag! Old swag.
No swag.
RV underwear swag.
Clay Backyard Bees. I saw you guys get your little cartoon last weekend.
Oh,
Remember,
that's right.
When you came in, well, it was this past week. You came in and Toonstead was drawing.
Right.
Ricky walked in just as he finished with RV Underway. I was on there in your place.
We have arrived.
We've somebody.
When Jim over at Toonstead draws you, you have arrived.
You have arrived.
We have arrived.
But anyway, Clay's Backyard Bees, welcome. Glad to see you. Got a lot of great Roman with Rosie. It's good to have you here. Healthy Living with Miss Renee the Barber.
All right.
What's up? All right.
Susan.
Susan's here. Very good. And Scott's in the room.
Is Scott here?
Mm-hmm. There's nomadic idea. He's in
Hey,
here somewhere.
Scott, how in the heck are you? And Ariane, it's a pleasure to call you friends.
Absolutely.
I get a kick out of it every time I watch you do a live stream, and I have been listening to your podcast, and I'm starting to take that whole approach to podcasting to heart, because I'm finally realizing, old dogs, new tricks. I'm finally realizing how popular podcasts are. And I've had a radio station partner that has been harping it for years. And I'm starting to catch on. It's extremely popular. And you do a great job, you and Ariane, when you do your podcast within your live stream.
Yeah.
If folks, you don't know what we're talking about, Thursday nights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to be doing one this coming Thursday night because Ariane is going to be gone somewhere.
Okay.
And Scott will be freeloading it, or maybe he did last Thursday. I get confused. I'm old. The gray hair actually grows inside in the brain too. I had a MRI a couple of weeks ago, and the doctor came back and said it's negative. I don't know if that means, I don't know what that means. My mental outlook, or the fact that they didn't find anything the size of a grapefruit, including a brain, in there. This nomadic idea, thank you so much. It's a pleasure, and I enjoy your podcast, and I'm starting to get the hang of listening to them and scheduling them and having them make themselves available to me so I don't have to go looking for them, which is a very easy task once you figure it out. The Art of RVing, Mark and Carrie, thank you, and Gus. Almost forgot Gus.
You can't forget Gus now.
Yeah.
Although Gus is a little wild now. I don't think it's going to be too much longer, and Carrie's going to have to put a restraining order out on Gus.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby. You hot. You know you hot. Oh, baby, you hot. Woo. Baby, you hot. I love it. I love it. Johnny's Journeys. There's two Johnny's Journeys. This is the other Johnny's Journeys, the tiny house Johnny's Journeys. John, you know who you are. Johnny's Journeys with a with a Y.
With an H.
No, Johnny, Johny is Johnny, and Johnnie is the female Johnny.
Okay, yeah.
That's correct. Cummins Camping, Gus is Crazy, Adventure Bandits, the North Woods RV Life, thank you so much. We appreciate y'all being here tonight. It's about 19 minutes after the hour, and Adventures in Xanadu. You know, me and you could talk radio for a long time. Once you told me that you were a 3-time CMA Market Disc Jockey of the Year award winner, and almost 3 decades in radio, then it all made sense. You know, once I went back and watched your videos and your live streams, yeah, you're an old radio guy. So, yeah, we could sit around and chat radio for a long time, and maybe we'll get the chance. I look forward to it.
RV Traveling MIA Researcher wants to know what we would call the new podcast. I think it should be Missing Movement.
Missing Movement. Isn't that the same as constipation?
No, it's being unauthorized absence.
Oh, I understand the missing movement as far as AWOL, missing movement. The ship moves and you're not on it, so that's missing movement. But it just, you know, it sounded like constipation to me. Just like asphalt. That seems like, you know, some trouble with your rectum. It really... I actually went there, didn't I? I said that.
Yes, Kathy, last weekend we had blue hair.
We certainly did. I had a blue afro. And I don't know if Slow-Mo is in here tonight. Have you seen him? But Slow-Mo, KT, Thomas, he showed, Blue Wave Bob showed a clip of him in his younger days with his afro and his chin strap beard. And my senior year of high school, the one year I wasn't in Navy Junior ROTC, I was able to let my hair down, as they say, and I grew a white boy afro as well. I had an afro my senior year in high school, and then, of course, 1 year later, I joined the Navy, and whack, they took that sucker off. It fell on the floor in Orlando, Florida, and my ears sunburned. They hadn't seen the light of day for over a year. So those of you in the military know what I'm talking about. You get that haircut and uncover those ears and get out there marching on the grinder, and all of a sudden you toast the top of your ears. RV Traveling MIA Researcher, He says, let us know, or let him know what he can do to help get the new podcast up and running. He has a few tips and tricks. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. He also invited us up to his neck of the woods for some Rocky Mountain oysters.
I saw that.
Yeah. Kind of like fish balls, only different. The other white meat.
That's awful. That's awful.
The other white meat. The Art of RVing. Healthy Living with Miss Renee and the Barber. You already shouted out to them. Let's go ahead and get to our questions. We talked about our topic tonight.
He gave me about a 15-minute head start.
That was the whole point. We don't want to give this too much thought. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask each other 5 very poignant questions that need direct answers, and we may find out something here tonight. If I answer honestly and she answers honestly, we may learn something about each other and our RV adventures. This kind of centers on RV adventures. This is not about our personal life or anything. This is about or perhaps our personal life as it is involved in RVing over the past 2 years. Okay. So I'm going to let Miss Barbara go ahead with question number 1. The whole point here is that she asked me a question that I have not had a chance to think about, and I have to give her an honest answer. So let's see how this goes. Also, at the same time, you can type your questions in for us into the chat, and when we wrap this up, we'll go back and look at some of those and perhaps ask some questions. Okay, Miss Barbara, question number 1 for me.
How much have you spent on Matilda? And was it worth it?
Including the price of Matilda?
No, I think the price was a joint thing. What have you spent on Matilda?
What have I spent on Matilda?
You know, the stereo system,
right?
Tools,
you're talking about the camera gear too, all that stuff.
All your stuff.
Everything that comes along with the RVing aspect over the last 2 years.
Yes, and that does include all your camera equipment, because when we started RVing, I did not realize that RVing meant you had a camera in your face 24/7.
True.
I did not know that.
She didn't know that.
Okay.
She actually said, I didn't sign on for that.
I didn't.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Everything. Well, not including the price of Matilda. To me, this doesn't sound like a bad number. To you, it may sound like a bad number, but I'm probably, with all the repairs I've made and the upgrades we've made to Matilda and all the camera gear I've bought and just little knickknacks and toys and I would say in the range of between $6,000 and $7,000.
Well, actually, that's pretty low.
You were thinking I spent more?
Yeah.
I could have, but I'm very thrifty and frugal, and I'm very handy. So it would have cost us that for a lot of those upgrades and stuff had we not done them ourselves, or I had not done it myself. So yeah, it could have been well over $10,000.
Yeah.
With labor cost and everything else.
Well, Susan asked if it was cheaper to paint or wallpaper an RV. I don't know which way's cheaper. For us, we painted. I
don't think, as long as you can take it down and put a good base coat, a couple of base coats of Kills on there, you know, some good good base coat primer. And then paint it whatever color you want. I don't think I'd go with RV. And with wallpaper. And here's why. Humidity. Humidity is always a problem in an RV. In fact, our humidifier is running right there. It runs all the time. And we are constantly emptying the condensation out of it. Because even in the wintertime, it gets humid inside the RV. It's a tin can with a space full of air, and when it heats up, things get, builds up humidity. So I don't think that wallpaper is a good choice for that reason. I think the humidity would really get to it. In fact, we put up some tile in our bathroom, and it gets kind of humid in there, and it's that peel and stick faux tile. It looks great, but every now and then I got to go in there and press everything back down in some areas because the humidity just causes it to turn loose. Okay, so I gave you the price, $7,000, and it's time now for me to ask my question of Miss Barbara. And my question is, what has been your favorite RV trip so far?
Whew. As far as going in the RV and going someplace, I think my favorite trip was probably going to Naval Air Station, Pensacola. It's gorgeous. You've got the water, and there's lots of things to do. However, I will say that when we went to Tampa to meet some of you guys out there, I enjoyed that probably more than I expected to be honest. But I like going to the beach. I'm very much want to go to the water, and the beach, the ocean is my favorite. So that would be my favorite trip so far. So Florida.
And I agree. Anytime we can get near the water. In fact, when we went and saw,
he gave me his cold song.
Michael and Shelley of our Epic RV Adventure, spent some time with them today, and they were in a park that we had spent time in last Easter, as a matter of fact, and just love it. Love being near the water. Okay, Miss Barbara, my question number 2.
Question number 2. What's been your worst day in an RV?
My worst day in an RV was our first day in Tampa, and you remember it.
The RV trip?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was our worst day, my worst day, not ours. My worst day in an RV was our first day in Tampa. And here's the reason why. We called to get a spot at MacDill, and was told that you have to go on a waiting list. And I asked them how soon can we expect to go from the waiting list to from the dry camping to an area that might have water and power. And they said, well, it could be a couple of days or it might be a week. And I said, okay, we'll take it. We obviously were coming to Tampa, and there was nothing going to stop us, so we took it. But I did not realize how ill-prepared I was arriving in Tampa, and it was just a mess of a day. Here's the first thing that happened. Here's the first thing. You're out of state. You're on a military installation. You drive your RV up to the registration office at the RV camp, the FAM camp, and the first thing out of the woman's mouth is, I need to see your vehicle registration. What happened? We missed the registration, didn't we?
That's right.
We didn't. It hadn't been. It was due in March, and doesn't it rotate on our birthdays, or how does that work?
Our car tags are due in March.
Right.
But the RV tags were due in November.
And that's why we forgot it. We thought it was in March, and apparently we had been camping in Old Matilda since November with tags that were out of date. And oh my gosh, what do we do now? We've driven all the way to Tampa. We're 8 hours from the house, and we don't have registration. How do we get out of this? And so that just started it. Now, Miss Barbara, smooth-talking, silver-tongued Miss Barbara, she talked our way out of that. I don't know how she did it, but I remember I went out and I rummaged through Matilda trying to come up with current registration papers. There weren't any. We had failed to register her, forgot to renew the registration. And by the time I got back into the office, she was standing at the desk, and she just spun around to me, blocking me from the girl working at the registration desk, and she goes, meaning we had already gotten over that little bit of the registration. Don't say a word about not having the registration.
Well, and you were angry, so you would have said anything.
Yeah, I was.
So.
I was angry because as soon as we got to that registration office, she said the waiting list is over 30 days.
Yeah.
And I said, you couldn't have told me that on the phone? On the phone, you went, a couple of days, maybe a week. 30 days? That's kind of significant, you know. That if that's the average, you could have told me that on the phone. And quite frankly, we might have left Matilda and come down and just stayed at the military lodging on base. We might have done that. Anyway, we showed up. I'm trying to make this quick. We showed up. We didn't have registration for Matilda. We squeaked through that. We got over to dry camping. Realized that we ain't got no water. We don't have no power. We're not prepared for dry camping.
Never dry camped before.
Never. So we immediately ran to Lowe's and then to Home Depot and then back to Lowe's and bought a generator. So I'm already upset now. I've had to buy a generator. And I get back and I'm trying to assemble the generator, and our next door neighbor, you remember his name? Ed. It was Ed.
Ed and Barbara.
Ed and Barbara.
Yep.
Ed and Barbara come. Hi, Ed and Barbara. Ed comes over and tells me his entire life story. Standing there while you're trying to assemble, you know, you got to put most of this generator together. And me being the kind-hearted soul that I am, I don't have the heart to look away or even tell him, Ed, I'm busy here, son. Ed's telling me his entire military career and retirement and RV story and everything else. And the sun's going down and I ain't got this generator put together yet. So Ed finally goes back over to his, they're in a van. They're a Class B.
Yeah, they were in a Class B.
They were in a Class B, and Ed goes home. Thank goodness. I finally got the generator put together. And I pull it once. I pull it twice. I pull it 20 times. I prime it. I check the gas again. I pull it 20 more times. Now my Christian nature has totally left me. I am starting to raise my voice, and the words aren't very pleasant. And I'm yanking on this cord, and then I see the shutoff valve, which the fuel shutoff valve, which was clearly in the instructions, which I read, but apparently not that line. Needless to say, Miss Barbara really, and then Miss Barbara drives our car off into a ditch. On top of that, the only redeeming quality of that day, redeeming item in that day, that 24-hour period, was what? We met Michael and Shelley.
Mike and Shelley that day.
We met them that day. They were in their tiffin, and they were in that same dry camping area. And
they had already heard about the legend of the woman who went off the road.
Yeah, they had already heard about it. She drove off in the ditch, and then and actually one of their buddies over there close to them was one of the gentlemen that helped us get Miss Barbara out of the ditch. She was busy watching puppy dogs driving around the RV park, and she cuts a little close and drops a wheel off in the ditch.
If this keeps up, we might not get through all 5 questions, but I really quickly want to say, Linda Barker, we were stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, and we did go to Nags Head, and we absolutely love it, and we're going to go there again someday.
Kitty Hawk, Outer Bank, Nags Head, we love that area.
All right.
Awful Arthur's Oyster Bar. The Outer Banks. All right. Does it bother you? Here's my question, Miss Barbara, number 2. Does it bother you that we are not able to flat tow?
No, it doesn't bother me. I don't mind driving behind you, but a lot of that is because my car is a new car to me, and I did not want to have things fly up and crack my windshield.
Yeah.
So, no, it doesn't bother me, but we haven't really been far yet, and I would like to travel in Matilda. I haven't done that yet, but I'm ready to flat tow.
In 2 years, you've never ridden in the passenger seat.
No.
While we're on a trip.
Well, except for in the parking lot at NAS Pensacola.
Well, you were in the driver's seat.
Well,
for that.
I was in the driver's seat, but that was the first time I actually sat in the passenger seat.
NAS Pensacola is an old seaplane base, and there's a huge concrete tarmac out there. And we were able, Steve Turtle says, when were you in Norfolk?
We got there in 91,
Mm-hmm.
and until I retired in 97.
Owned a house in Virginia Beach.
Yep.
And anyway, we had that huge tarmac out there, several acres of concrete, because it was an airstrip for seaplanes. And Miss Barbara and our other friend, Joan, was able to take their separate RVs and just start making laps and turning and getting the feel of it. And so if you ever get the opportunity to get in a huge parking lot and you've not been behind the wheel of your RV, take the opportunity, get behind it. Shelley was telling us today that one of her concerns about driving the RV is the tail swing. And that is a great concern because tail swing on these RVs is incredible. You have to really be thinking before you pull away from gas pumps, especially gas pumps, or when you're in a tight RV parking lot where there's trees and you just start turning that wheel, that back end's coming around a long way. And when we bought Matilda, there was minor signs of a tail swing incident on the driver's side. Okay, question number 3.
Question number 3. Are you happy in the RV?
Extremely happy. That goes without saying. So I'm going to move on to my question number 3. No, I love it. I couldn't. I'm having a ball.
Good.
Okay, here's my question number 3 to Miss Barbara. Do you trust Matilda?
I do. I know she's older. I know that there's things that probably need to be done mechanically, but I'm not worried about breaking down or doing anything like that. I mean, it helps a little bit that you can do some of the stuff to get us wherever we need to go, but I do trust Matilda. I would like a bigger Matilda one day, but I trust Matilda.
A diesel pusher.
That's what you want.
I want the diesel pusher because of the power. I know that Miss Barbara, being from Colorado, and our dream of going out to the West Coast and visiting folks like Jerry at Happy Place Diaries up in Oregon, and perhaps going to Alaska, which is on my bucket list in an RV, to climb a lot of those hills and do a lot of that stuff. It's just to have that diesel power, especially if you're pulling a flat tow behind you. So my dream is going to be a diesel pusher, and her dream is to have minimum of 3 slides, so that sucker will just grow when you get to the parking area.
Well, the only thing I really would like to see is a larger kitchen.
Yeah.
And a larger sitting area, living area. The bedroom and the bathroom would have to be a little bit bigger.
Right.
But I trust her. All right.
Number 4.
Number 4. Do you really want to go full time?
Yes, I do. I do want to go full time. And Steve Turtle said Fort Eustis, 91 through 94. We've been to Fort Eustis. Isn't that where that big old hotel is on Fort Eustis? Sits out on the water?
That's not really Fort Eustis. That was
out on the Newport News side.
Yeah. But when I was on the John C. Stennis, remember the early days of John C. Stennis, and I would have to stay and watch.
Right.
We actually stood to the barracks at Fort Eustis.
Fort Eustis.
That's where we had some of our sailors.
Chasing Abnormal says that they were stationed at NAS Norfolk 2000 through 2003. Well, good. NAS Norfolk was one of my duty stations. I was at the electronics school there while Miss Barbara was on the Stennis. And that's also where I got my private pilot's license. Yep. We had a great little flying club on base. And if you know anything about the military and its things like flying clubs, it's just a lot less expensive because our instructors are all Navy pilots from NAS Norfolk who are picking up a little money on the side. They're all certified so they can teach. The airplanes belong to a bunch of the military members, so your little Cessnas and stuff out there, your Cherokees are all sitting around, and they rent them to the air club so that we can Fort Monroe. That's exactly right. The Chamberlain Hotel. What a beautiful old hotel.
Yeah, we used to have parties there for the Chiefs Mess from the Portsmouth Naval Hospital. We would have our Christmas parties and our New Year's party there.
We did a party there one night, and they were also at the same time in another ballroom at the Chamberlain. They were having a reenactors ball.
Yeah.
Where everybody was dressed up. The generals, were dressed up, the blue and the gray. They were all there. It took you back in time, especially to be in an old hotel like that on the waterfront there. Okay, that was your question number 4.
Yep.
And basically, the Naval Air Station Flight Club, the insurance was low. I wanted to finish that thought. But I was able to fly a lot and go through the ground school and then get my pilot's license. And then when I became a civilian, when we got out of the military, I realized how expensive it was, and I really haven't flown since. It's a sad thing, but I enjoyed it so much, but I could afford it when we were on base. All right, question number 4 for Miss Barbara. Do you covet other RVs?
Surprisingly, no. Again, I would like a bigger kitchen, a bigger living area. But all those beautiful RVs that we saw at the RV show,
right,
they were gorgeous, they were nice, but I kept saying they didn't have something I couldn't already put in Matilda. I mean, I don't have a washer and dryer, but we could.
Right.
So I didn't see anything in those RVs that I couldn't live without. So no, I don't. And I actually kind of like the fact that Matilda's a little bit older, and she's ours.
Oh, yeah.
And,
that's the great thing about having an older RV where you're not really concerned about its resale value. If I go to put a hole in something, I'm drilling the hole in it. If I need to mount something, I'm not concerned about it. It's Matilda's ours, and we will probably be the last owners of Matilda.
Yeah.
We might pass it on one day
to one of our children or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And but the fact of the matter is, I don't have to ask the bank before I go and drill a hole and lower the resale value of the vehicle by modifying something I shouldn't. So that's some freedom right there. So you do not covet other RVs.
No, I don't.
All right. Is the question number 4 or the final one?
You have to ask me. No, you did ask me.
I did. That was number 4. So this is 5 for me.
What are you most hesitant about going full time? What makes you the most nervous about going full time?
The fact that I own a radio station. Not that I work for a station. See, I work for a group of radio stations as the general manager and the engineer and the bottle wash and the janitor and HR department. And anyway, the point is I work for that group of stations, but I also own my own AM and FM radio station in the town of Dothan, Alabama. I'd love to sell that radio station and just be free of it. But that's the only thing I hesitate with, because even though I've got some great guys running it for me, that would be the only hesitation, honey. Being that you own a business, and at this point it's not gangbusters, but it's holding its own. I don't have to put money in it, which is something that over the past 11 years, having owned that station, every year we've lost money on it. Mm-hmm. We could have had a huge RV, all the money we put into that radio station, and it not turning a profit or even making money at all. Yeah. But it's finally making money, and that's the only reason I hesitate, is because I would really like to sell that, and that would be total freedom.
Yeah.
So sell my business. Then it would be total freedom. All right, question number 5 for Miss Barbara. And I'm going to tell you I also have a bonus question. And this kind of plays off of what I just you just asked me. Are you upset that I postponed our full-time RV plans?
A little. I will admit that I am a little bit. When you first took the additional responsibilities at work, I was okay with it, didn't bother me. But now I'm really ready to retire. I don't want to be too old to go out and enjoy it. I want to enjoy it now. So yeah, a little bit.
No, that's honest. That's I thought you felt that way. I kind of knew it when I told the boss I'd take on that responsibility, which meant we were not going to start our full-time RV life this April, next month.
Yeah.
I told him a year ago. I gave him a 1-year notice a year ago,
Yeah.
and said, I'm done. I'll maintain your transmitters for you, you know, periodic checkups and stuff like that. But on a contract basis, but the full-time thing was over. And okay, the bonus. If you could snap your fingers and be in any RV destination, be at any RV destination, where would we be right now? Snap your fingers and we're there. Where would you be?
We'd be up in Norway looking at the northern lights.
Wow.
I didn't have to think about that too long.
Wow.
Yeah, we'd be up at Norway. I'm sorry, Posh Cats, that was, yeah, that's my big bucket list.
I don't know, I was thinking Colorado, maybe up in the mountains, maybe out in Arizona, California, Oregon.
Snapping my fingers is what did it now.
True. If you could snap your fingers and we could be absolutely anywhere, we would be in Norway. Checking out the Aurora Borealis. I wonder if they call it Poshcat. I don't know if they're in here, but do you know if it's called the Aurora Borealis or is that our name for it?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
You know, if there was some kind of like interweb thing that where you could, we can go. I tell you what, Monday we'll go to the library. Monday we'll go to the library and look it up, cause we remember the Dewey Decimal System.
Well, JW, I hate to tell you this, but if I could snap my fingers and be anywhere, Matilda would be there too. Sorry, buddy.
What is he saying?
He said he would look after Matilda for us.
I got you. New Horizons, The Art of RVing. Gus needs to ask Miss Ruby out.
Well, you know, because Miss Ruby would be unemployed if we sold the radio station.
That's right. Miss Ruby would be unemployed. That's sad. She's been with us so long. And she still scares me. I mean, I would say Mustang, but that's beyond. No, Cougar. What is the name? Cougar. She ain't a
Mustang?
Cougar.
Oh,
yeah, she
Mustang?
ain't a Cougar. No, she ain't a Cougar. She's like an old bobcat that ain't got no. Never mind. She scares me. She still scares me, and when I go back and watch that video, she still scares me. All right, bonus question for me or no?
You didn't give me a
chance. I know. I thought maybe you in our conversation here you might have come up with one. We have received a lot of stickers, and we got to put together another video to thank everybody for their stickers, and go ahead and put them on the door and give you a shout out. But Miss Barbara is very pleased. We want to show you something that we did. We used Vistaprint. I know there's a lot of companies out there that GoPrint and some other places like that. They're right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're right there. But she also did a great job. She homemade some that looked great. And then we had already ordered these from Vistaprint. So basically,
it's green, so your screen.
Maybe we can spin it sideways. Look at there. Anyway, it's a nice card on the back. It's got your social media logos. Maybe you can see them at that angle right there. But anyway, also your QR code is on there.
That takes you right to our YouTube page.
It takes you right to our YouTube channel. So consider that if you decide to do this, or even make any other kind of promotions material for your channel, use that QR code. It's just nifty. They hit it with their camera, and boom, their camera phone goes straight to the website. And of course, we got the envelopes that are printed with the return address of RV Underway. And then we'll send these out with a little thank you note on the back. Left space for a thank you note underneath the social media icons.
I haven't used these yet, though.
No.
Because I have some regular thank you cards, and I've been sending those. And I'm almost done. Matter of fact, that's what I was doing tonight, is I was filling out sticker requests.
We spend a lot of time doing catching up on comments, watching videos, and answering sticker request.
We got a
huge look at this stack here. That's been a week and a half, I think.
About 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. I did want a special shout out. Let me see. Traveling down the banisters. I just gotta, because I love everybody, all your envelopes and cards and stuff, and we appreciate it. And we're gonna do a video to go ahead and thank you for that. Just a quick little cute video to thank you for your stickers. But I just gotta, some folks just do it up right, and it really just sets a high standard for the rest of us that we rarely have a chance of meeting. This is from Traveling Down the Banisters, Keith in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Giggles.
And
the family. And it's all, I mean, look at that. It's got the barcode and everything. Really, wow. It's well done. And then if you flip it over, the big envelope has the Traveling Down the Banisters with the QR code, and as seen on YouTube, watch us on YouTube, and the big logo here, and travelingdownthebanisters.com across the bottom. And then, of course, they don't shy. If you thought that was good, then look at the size of the sticker. In reference to my face, look at the size of that sticker, folks. And then a great card inside, handwritten, and it's just that personal touch. It's kind of special. And what are those, coasters?
Yeah, they look like coasters, but they also are.
Yeah, they're little cardboard coasters, and they've got the QR code on the back.
And I know that, Steve, your question's already been answered. When you go to Vistaprint or any of these places, usually they have a spot there where you just put in your
Yeah, you type it in. If you go to one of the online places to get your letterhead or cards, these are basically thank you cards. You go to a template, and then you just tell it what you want on your template, upload your own logo, and then as part of the process, answering the questions, it says, do you want to include a QR code? And you click yes, and it goes, give me the link. And you go to your YouTube channel, copy your link to your home page, and fly back over there and punch that link in. And of course, as soon as these arrived in the mail, I immediately grabbed the first one and hit it with my phone, and bing, went straight to my website. So I wanted to make certain that it worked. But there's a lot of great companies out there. Some do it cheaper than others. My experience with Vistaprint has always been good, and some people say they're higher than other services, but we've always used them with our radio stations. So, and even before the RV life for us, I would always, with most of my endeavors, if I was dealing with cards or stickers or something, we would go to Vistaprint. Jerry Holly, hi everyone. Just stopping in a few streams to thank everyone for the love and support you have all shown us. We love each and every one of you. Jerry, our hearts are with you, and we pray comfort upon your family. I know it's a tough time, and just know this community is behind you and praying for you, and I hope you can feel that, you and Diane, so, and your whole family. So our hearts are with you tonight. I know that's a tough situation. And everybody's online reaching out to Jerry and Diane, so that's great. Prayers going out from everybody. We are about 3 minutes away from wrapping this thing up.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed our live stream tonight. And thank you for coming out to visit with us. I think that if my memory serves me, which it rarely does.
It's getting worse.
It's getting much worse. Imagine Your Odyssey has the after show. I think so. Let us know, Jason, if that's correct. If you're coming on next, just pop it in the stream down there. If so, I'll let Barbara kind of wrap things up while I grab your URL, your link.
He's on.
Okay, so yes, Imagine Your Odyssey. Miss Barbara, I'll go here and grab this while you're wrapping things up there.
It's hard to wrap things up when he's still talking. Well, again, thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for praying for Jerry and sending prayers their way. We do love you guys. We love this community, and we are just so humbled by the great support that we get from each and every one of you guys. Ricky's got the link set up for you guys. Thank you for putting up with us. This was actually kind of put together at the last minute.
Because it has been a crazy week, and of course last week we joined Blue Wave Bob.
Yeah.
And had a blast.
I was exhausted when it was over.
Bluebeard and Blue Diva. And don't forget, Miss Barbara, we alternate these. So Miss Barbara, I'm not sure if it's next weekend, but I think
you're going to be gone next weekend.
Right, so you're going to have to do RV Divas next weekend.
I can do that next
So look forward to that. I punched that link in there. I'm going to do it again. There's the link to Imagine Your Odyssey, who has the after party Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time with Imagine Your Odyssey, as seen on RV TV Guide. Thank you, Jerry and James. And we are in the waning hours now, so go over there and do an RV underway raid at Imagine Your Odyssey. And there is the link. Bang. Grab that right there and head on over there. God bless you, folks. And until we see you again, fair winds and following seas.
Love y'all.